Have you ever heard terms such as inflation, compound interest, bonds, liabilities? Because probably there's a lot of financial terms you're not familiar with. I can tell from my own experience, when I didn't understand financial terms in the way I should have, it was hard to make good financial decisions and it was hard to understand how finances and companies work. But when I started learning and I started to understand what each term means, it was actually much easier to understand that the world of finances isn't that hard to understand as a whole, because each term has a specific purpose and it's actually pretty easy to understand. And that's why in this video I share with you 10 financial terms that you should know by age 25. Make sure to watch this video to the very end, because these 10 terms can set you on a path to financial success and help you to avoid common financial mistakes. If you're new to the channel, my name is Thomas. On this channel I discuss about self-improvement, finances, productivity, mindset, anything that is related to self-improvement. Term number 1, assets and liabilities. You've probably heard the word assets and liabilities many times. Okay, let's dive right into it. So, assets are anything that you own that has value. So it can be your money in savings, your investments, your property, and even valuable items such as a fancy car or a watch. And then liabilities are debts and obligations, things such as loans, credit card debt, or anything you owe. And like I told you, example for assets can be cash in the bank or a fancy car. For liabilities it can be student loan, mortgage, credit card balance. You get the point. Why it matters and why this is important to understand is that when you understand what assets and liabilities mean, that's the foundation of understanding wealth. Knowing your assets and liabilities helps you to understand where you are financially. And if you're liking this video this far, make sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe for more so you don't miss the newest uploads every Thursday and Sunday. Let's continue. Term number 2. Net worth. Net worth is a measure of financial health. If you want to grow your net worth, you have to be around people who are generally interested in that as well. And that's why also healthy financial habits play a crucial role. Basically, your net worth is calculated by subtracting your liabilities from assets. If assets are higher than your liabilities, your net worth is positive. On the other hand, if liabilities are higher, it means your net worth is negative. Why it's important to understand is that net worth actually shows how much you truly own, and it's extremely helpful tool for setting financial goals. Knowing your net worth is valuable. Term number 3, budgeting. I've been talking about budgeting in a few previous videos, and I leave the link down in the description on a video how to create budget. Budgeting is a process of creating a plan to spend your money wisely. Basically to spend and save your money in a way that will foster your financial growth. The idea is to limit unnecessary spending. A great rule to use here is 50-30-20 rule, and I've talked about this on this channel before. Shortly, the 50% of your income goes to your essential costs, and this is my opinion how you should do this. Then 30% goes to your savings and investments, and 20% goes to your wants. That way you're allowed to spend a limited amount of money on things that you want, so you don't end up spending as much as possible and save only a tiny bit of money. What's good about budgeting is that it keeps you in control about your money and you know actually how much you're spending. And like I told you, it prevents you from overspending. It's basically an encouraging way of saving more money. Term number 4, interest. You can define interest, for example, in 2 different ways: simple interest and compound interest. And we're going to be talking about compound interest later in this video, but simple interest is calculated only on the initial amount of money. However, compound interest is earned on both the initial amount of money and any previously earned interest. As an example, I can give you a savings account with an interest rate. Your normal bank account probably doesn't have any interest. There are some great options of high interest savings accounts, and that's a great way of starting to invest your money risk-free. You might get 2%, 3% interest on your savings. And it's guaranteed, you can't lose that. But if you want to take more risk, obviously invest your money in the stock market. Understanding how interest works helps you to make better choices financially. How you spend your money, how you save, and how you invest your money. Okay, now we get into term that's basically the most used term in financial world, and term number 5, inflation. Basically, inflation is the rate at which prices for goods and services rise over time. And what it does is that it reduces purchasing power of money. So that's why I highly encourage you to save and invest, and especially invest your money in stock market. Because if you have all your money just sitting in your bank account, inflation is decreasing the value of your money every day. Inflation means that your money buys you less over time if it's just sitting in cash. And like I told you, this is where investing becomes important. So if you want to earn great interest on your money, invest it in the stock market. That's basically a guaranteed way of earning great interest on your money. and beating inflation over time. Investing is one way to ensure your money grows faster than inflation. Alright, tip number 6, compound interest. And this is where things get interesting. Compound interest is interest that basically grows on both your initial amount and any accumulated interest, leading to exponential growth over time. And that's what investing is all about, in my opinion. Let's take a concrete example here. So let's say you invest $1,000 at a 5% compound interest rate. Each year it grows not only the original $1,000, but also on the interest it earned in the previous years. And that's why it's super important to take advantage of this if you want to level up your financial situation. Compound interest can be incredibly powerful when building wealth, but it can also increase debt significantly if you're paying compound interest on a loan. And this is very important to understand. Term number 7. Stocks versus bonds. I think you're more familiar with the term stocks. That's basically the first thing that probably comes to your mind when talking about investing and stock market in general. So what is a stock? Buying a stock means that you're buying a share of a company, so you own a small part of it. And stocks can be volatile, but because of that, they offer a better chance for high returns. Bond is essentially a loan you give to a company or a government in exchange for regular interest payments. Bonds are generally less risky than stocks. The actual difference between these two is that stocks are riskier, but have higher potential returns, and bonds are more stable, but have lower returns. Understanding stocks and bonds can help you building a balanced portfolio. Term number 8, diversification. You probably heard something such as don't put all your eggs in the same basket. That's true, so that's why it's very important to diversify your investments. Basically, you can spread your investments across different assets such as stocks, bonds, real estate. You get the point. The idea is that by diversifying, you reduce the risk of losing everything if one investment doesn't perform well. Diversification helps to protect the volatility of the market, and that's basically a key to long-term financial stability. I highly recommend to get started with index funds. They are well diversified. There's plenty of different options. Some of them invest globally. You can choose index funds that only invest in North America or only Europe, Asia. Basically, by investing in an index fund, you get great diversification automatically. Term number 9, emergency fund. Probably you have heard about emergency fund on social media. Emergency fund is money saved specifically for unexpected expenses, job loss, medical bills, car repairs, and it's very important to have an emergency fund. You've probably heard sometimes that financial advisors suggest to have 3 to 6 months worth of expenses saved in an emergency fund. And basically, emergency fund provides financial security for you. And basically, it can keep you away from going into debt. So that's why it's very important to have an emergency fund. And if you don't, make sure to start today so you can secure your financial future. And last tip number 10, ROI, return on investment. So basically, ROI measures how profitable an investment is. It's calculated by dividing the net profit by the cost of the investment. Let's again take a concrete example here. So let's say you invest $100 in a stock and it grows to $120. So what you do is you take $120 minus $100 divided by $100. Result is your return on investment is 20%. So actually understanding this isn't that hard, and suddenly the world of finances becomes much more easier to understand. ROI helps you to understand whether the investment is worth it compared to other options. Knowing how to calculate return on investment helps you to make better financial decisions, and knowing this can be actually a game changer. So understanding ROI is important. And if you have made it this far, I challenge you to comment down below what was the term that was completely new to you and what was the hardest for you to understand. If you're interested in more financial tips and investing, make sure to watch this video next. It is about how to start investing with $100. I go over 3 best options. If you're new to the channel, click here to subscribe, learn more financial terms. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.